father says to me, listen, he goes, you will always be my son. He says, even though you were raised by somebody else. He says, and the one thing he says that I'm so proud of is being able to be in heaven and to look at the life that you have now, to see how far you've come.
Yeah.
He says, so do me a favor. He goes, you can stop searching for me. You have already done enough. Hi, Tip. Hi, Jim. How are you?
Hi.
We're good. How are you?
Good. And where are you guys from?
We're in Heath, Ohio.
Oh, great. Well, first of all, I'm glad that you're here.
Thank
and
you.
right away, when I'm connecting with you, first of all, did your father depart? Because he
Yeah.
keeps saying I'm the father.
Yeah, I was adopted, and I just found out about my birth father, and he passed 3 years ago.
He's here because this is what's so crazy. He says to me, Matt, he's here for me, he was telling me. And your loved ones see your journey. They see what's going on with you, and they see the things that's happening. And he says to me that you are on a journey to find him.
Yeah.
And then by the time that you found out, like you had just missed his passing, he's telling me.
Just missed it.
Yeah.
He says to me, Matt, he goes, he's holding on to this. He says, because he was coming to find me. He says, and by the time you had found out who he was and where he was, he says, you were so devastated because you found out your dad had died.
Yeah.
And
I
he
took
says
it pretty hard. Yeah.
And who's this with you? Is this your wife?
Yeah. Yes.
First of all, he's also thanking you because he tells me that you were part of the journey in doing all of
Yes.
it.
Yes.
You know
A
what?
big part of it.
You didn't know your father, but it's funny because he's got like a personality on the other side. And he's going to be Matt. He goes, Tiffany, she's the one. He's like, she's like the mastermind. He goes, he tells me you were on the phone. Like it was like the AT&T call center calling people. So
I was on Facebook Messenger.
And then what was with the calling? Did you call for records or were you looking for?
I'm one of 5 kids, and my oldest brother is adopted, and he found us when I was 14. So when I married him and found out he was adopted, we kind of did a thing. Like I did an ancestry DNA for him, just kind of trying to figure out his background, and found a lot more than just his background.
I know, I gotta tell you something. I don't know if you know this, but there were also other siblings as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I know of one,
Yeah.
and that's kind of our only question is, did he know about both of them?
Did the father know about both of them?
Yeah.
Can I be honest with you? Because I will be honest.
100%, please.
He was told that wasn't his kids.
Mm.
I told you.
He said to me, did he know that people were, this woman was pregnant? Your mother at the time? And he's saying to me, yeah, like he knew. It was a very tough time, he's telling me, because they were in a relationship, but they weren't.
Yep, you're right.
Because he's telling me that, the mother, I don't know if that was your mother or just the person that he was at the time, because there's a lot of different connections here. He's telling me that she was dating somebody else at the time. There was another man in her life. And that
Correct.
I felt that she didn't tell the truth. I feel like she told him they weren't his
Correct.
kids. Because he says to me, Matt, he's telling me now, because your loved ones on the other side can see everything. And if that man that she was with found out those were not his kids, he wouldn't have raised them.
He's the one that found his brother.
So now that's the reason why we have all these families and different things, and everyone has a different story. And some people don't know about the adoption. Some people do. Some people, there's these, we have all these stories everywhere. And then it's so hard to find out the truth. But the truth is actually very simple.
Yeah.
Because he's telling me. But I got to tell you something else. Your father's coming through because he says to me, I didn't mean to hurt you in this way.
No.
I got to be honest with you. I just asked him, I said, were you looking for your son? And he said, no.
Mm.
We
Yeah.
knew that. We
Yeah.
knew that.
He said to me, and the reason why, because you deserve a reason. He said to me, I couldn't come back to you. He says, after what I did, after I gave you up, not because I didn't think about you, not because I didn't care what happened to you. It's that I didn't want to take you away from the life that you had. He says, because I was the one who gave you up.
Yeah.
This is what happens, is that even though you didn't get to know your dad, he still watches over you in spirit. And what's so crazy is he just said to me, Matt, he goes, can you let him know one thing? He says, can you just let him know that I waited for the day for him to find me? And before I died, he talked to other people. I don't know if you heard this yet, but he told other people, one day I know that I'm going to see him again. One day I know that he's going to come back and to see me. Is that correct?
Yes. He
So
told
no-
other family members about him before he passed.
There you go. So he says to me that, he was waiting for you to find him. And even though the stars didn't align in that way and you didn't get to see your dad knows about the way that you search for him now. He knows that you searched for him. He knows you were right there. He knows how close you were. And that's what you need to know. You know what's crazy? You still have so many similarities to your dad that had passed, right down to cravings. And your father, because when spirits go to the other side, they can see things, right? So they're like, oh my God, my son did this and I used to do this. And oh my God, and my son did that. And that's something I would do. You know, and your dad is telling me that you are obsessed with French fries. What's with French fries?
It's probably
they're delicious.
No, but he tells me you're obsessed with salty things. And that was something that your dad did as well. He said, you're always
just food in general. He loves food.
Yeah.
He says to me, Matt, he goes, he does the same thing like I did. He goes, I was all into like the salty bad things. He goes, and that's my son. He goes, we have the same palate, he's telling me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's true.
Your father says to me, listen, he goes, you will always be my son. He says, even though you were raised by somebody else. He says, and the one thing he says that I'm so proud of is being able to be in heaven and to look at the life that you have now, to see how far you've come.
Yeah.
He says, so do me a favor. He goes, you can stop searching for me.
All right.
Just because I died doesn't mean that you have to go back and make things right and put things back together. You have already done enough. So even though you didn't get that validation of seeing him, this is his way of acknowledging that you're on a new journey with him. You will feel his spirit guiding you. You will feel him there. And that's what's so important.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And also when I'm connecting, do you know if there's Bill or William?
Jeez, are you kidding
You
me?
need to say that name.
Oh, it's my grandfather.
Oh, your grandfather's also here.
Yeah.
Oh.
So your grandfather just said, can you let her know that I'm there as well? They used to call him Billy here in this world.
He passed when I was very young, about 4 years old.
He's watching over you in spirit. He
I'll
just said,
sing all the songs for him all the time.
so know that it's his way of acknowledging that. And one other thing, your grandfather just said to me, he's got your dog with him. So did you just lose the dog?
Yes, thank you.
I know. Oh, my heart goes out to you because I want to come through and hug you. This was like your baby, your grandfather's telling me.
Yeah, she was something.
So your grandfather says to me, listen, please know, he says that when you had to let go of that dog, that I am there and I am with that dog. And let me tell you something, your grandfather's with every single soul that like your family had lost here in this world because your family was an animal lover.
Isn't he the coolest? I was 4 when he passed, but I knew he was the coolest all my life.
It doesn't matter how long ago you loved him pass. Listen, my grandmother, the psychic one, passed when I was 4, but she's with me every day, guiding me every day. If she didn't die when I was 4, I wouldn't be doing this work right now in front of you.
He's with me every day, I'm sure of it.
You know, Matt, he goes, she's more worried about the animals than she is about me. He says, let her know I got all the dogs here. He's telling me.
My husband always says when I die, I'm gonna come back as one of my wife's pets.
Well, first of all, know that this is just validation that, you know, what you were sensing and feeling is real, that your grandfather is there, your dad is there. They are watching over you on the other side. And every day that goes by, they are safe and at peace.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to leave you with that.